Michael Jackson, the king of pop, who's 50 years old.
The voice of grunge music takes his own life.
Why is it sad? He's away from all of this bad stuff that's here on earth.
Found God. Because cops give a damn about a need.
So there's a lot of crazy conspiracies out there, but the ones I hear a lot of are the ones who may have faked their own deaths.
The thought that these people could have faked their own deaths is just insane. To get away from it all, or it's because they were burnt out, it's mind-boggling. Let's talk about
the king of pop.
I was thinking Prince of Pop, but I don't think
Prince of Pop? He's the king of pop,
pretty
bro.
sure he's better
He's
than
the
that.
king, yeah. I'm pretty sure the Prince of Pop was probably Prince. Conspiracies. On June 25th, 2009, Michael Jackson was pronounced dead due to an overdose on drugs. It was later considered a homicide. Why?
Because the doctor gave him that shit.
Exactly.
That shit.
He administered the drugs and was later on went to court and was arrested and thrown in jail for 2 years. So according to a YouTuber named Pearl Jr., she believes after an extensive amount of research that the bodies may have actually been switched. So what she noticed was that the body kind of looked similar to a cancer patient on hospice care. Even the paramedics had a difficult time identifying him as well. How would it be possible to identify probably the most famous face in the world? I mean, come on, it's Michael Jackson. It's the king of pop. So did you know any of that? Did you ever actually look at like the pictures close up and realize that it looked odd and a little bit off? One major question is the surveillance tape that went missing.
Angelo, tell me, which tape was that?
Well, let me tell you. So there was a surveillance video shown in court after Michael passed that would have shown the past 24 hours of Michael's life, and it was completely missing. So basically what it was like a surveillance tape that he of his house, like the area on, what was the place that he lived?
Neverland Ranch.
Neverland, yeah. So it was the surveillance tapes of Neverland Ranch, which would have given us a lot of insight into the past, the past day or two of Michael Jackson's life, right? And somehow this one tape went completely missing. Nobody knows where it is. It no longer exists for whatever reason, and I think that could have possibly given us a lot of information.
Right.
And that's actually why a lot of theorists believe that it never actually was lost. It is believed that the tape was never shown because it would show the fact that Michael Jackson is probably still alive and maybe even faked his own death. Like, how the hell does a surveillance tape go missing? Like,
I don't think they go missing, man. I think they get taken.
So there's a bunch of other clues that could actually tell us that Michael Jackson never actually died and did in fact fake his own death. There have been sightings of him all over the world. There's a website. Did you know there's a website?
No, I didn't know there was.
It's called michaeljacksonsightings.com.
Why didn't I think of that?
Right? So michaeljacksonsightings.com. Here they have a bunch of cool pictures that basically make it plausible that Michael Jackson could still very well be alive.
Do they have like a tracker? Can we check where's Michael at this time?
I wish there was. That'd actually be pretty cool. There were several sightings on this website that I looked at that were actually quite notable. The first one was actually an Instagram post by Michael's daughter Paris. It was about 2 years ago, and at first if you're looking at the picture you don't really see much. However, some people took the time and had the patience and obviously have no life, and they edited the picture and you can see something a little bit interesting in the background. So the original photo, if you look at it, it just literally looked like there was like a shadow. So like imagine there's literally nothing there, and Paris is just like yeah, I'm hot, I'm taking a selfie. Yeah, basically like that one. And then what some people did was they changed the color of the actual photo itself, and it didn't look like they had photoshopped anything in, but then obviously you look really close underneath the fedora and there's Paris's father in the back seat, Michael Jackson. He's right there, the prince, the king of pop.
You can't disrespect him because he's still out there. He's watching this video.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. A lot of people went nuts when this picture came out. A lot of people thought that it's like, holy shit, Michael's back from the dead. He never died, yo. He's alive.
Never died, never died.
So, here's another interesting one. Apparently Michael's in Canada. Supposedly he bought a small bungalow near a place called Lake Doré in Ottawa. Do you actually say Ottawa with an accent, or you don't have to say it with an accent, right?
I don't know the accent.
You're from
It
there.
would be Ottawa.
So
Ottawa.
the day he moved in, people saw a pale, middle-aged man pull up in a limousine with a bunch of moving vans. City records showed the owner of the house is named Alan P. Mysteriously, no one has ever seen this man. No one's ever seen Alan ever before. And when people ask the servants, they reply, he is a very private man. Like, literally, like, you'd be outside watering your grass and, like, you could literally stand outside, like, for the next 24 hours in your neighborhood staring at this house, and this man never comes out of the house or ever leaves the house.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
Right? Meanwhile, there have been reports that there have been permits for exotic animals, shipments of costumes, and cosmetics?
Sounds like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and cosmetics. And whenever visitors do come, they are escorted from the airport in a shroud of secrecy. A contractor who was hired to do some work at the house claims that they're building a recording studio, and hearing Alan's voice, it could very well be Michael. I mean, he's got a pretty distinctive voice. I mean, anybody
Yeah.
who'd realistically hear his voice would know that's Michael Jackson.
Please move that over there.
Sir, in that corner. No, just to the left. Okay, so the contractor who never saw Alan ever said he had a feeling that it was a famous person hiding out. The truth remains to be seen. We only hope and pray that it could be true. So do you think that's a possibility? Do you think he's still alive in Lake Doré in Ottawa?
Now I do.
No, you do, right? I know, it's crazy.
There's some evidence to point to
There
the
is
fact that it could be possible.
It's the weirdest thing to me is that if you actually do go on this website, there's like tons of pictures of him just literally popping up all over the place. And I mean, realistically, how many people in the world actually look like Michael Jackson?
Like, where's Michael? Like, where's Waldo?
Yeah,
Just
it's
pop
like
up.
there he is. There's Michael, right?
He's in
Like,
a crowd of...
I don't know if I mean some of them could probably
Trees.
be fake, right? They just want to, get some views on YouTube, whatever it is. Give us some views on YouTube. Here it says that there's one possible clue that may have left behind to tell us that he is alive and well. So there's a cover of some music that he came out with. It's called Alive. I think it's called Alive, or actually I think it's called Michael. Anyways, it came out after he died. Now, if you look up really, really close to the actual album cover art, you're gonna see something like super interesting. So this is the full album art.
What?
Yeah, and then when
Holy cow, look at
they
this
like, there's a lot of stuff going on in the actual picture, but when you look into,
It looks like a Star Wars poster.
yeah, kinda, like that's insane. So here's the album art cover.
Oh my
so
god,
here's-
is that what they're talking about right there?
Yeah, you see it, right?
Yeah.
Like right in the
Yeah.
in the lips, right? And then they traced it.
Yeah.
Alive.
I think
So-
the A is a bit of a stretch there. I see the V and the E though.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, I can kind of make it out,
Oh, I see
right?
the A actually. Yeah.
Weird. Like, that's strange. And I don't. And the album, I have to make the correction because the album was not called Alive. I don't think. I think it was actually just called Michael. I think it's like a greatest hits.
So is it coincidence, or is he trying to tell us something?
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe he's gonna make some like huge comeback, right? I mean, what
That'd
was
be
that
great.
last show that he was
Yes,
supposed
please.
to do that he never?
This is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
Maybe that wasn't it,
I w-
right? So let's talk about maybe why he would have faked his death. So I believe that it is possible that he could have faked his death. I mean, it is plausible, and I
Yeah.
think the biggest reason is that Michael Jackson was kind of known as like almost like a kid, right?
Yeah.
He wanted to be a kid forever, and realistically, as you know, the biggest celebrity in the world, you couldn't go anywhere at all, right? Like if you watch videos of him going to the freaking, there was a video I remember watching that he really wanted to go to a grocery store. He wanted to be like a normal person for an hour. They closed the grocery store just for him, and every single person that worked there were his friends. And they were like pretending to be like the
What?
stock boy, the cashier was like one of his friends. And it was literally just him running around the grocery store having fun, pretending like he was a normal person.
Wow.
And then like interacting with these people as if he didn't even know them. And like he was having a good time. Like he had so much fun doing something so simple as going to the grocery store, right?
Wow.
Something that we take for granted that these people like it's tough to deal with, right? You got
Yeah.
paparazzi all the time.
And
met my cousins dressed like they were bag boys, and I went shopping. It was great. They planned everything right down to the music.
We know he had a lot of debts. He was basically on the verge of bankruptcy.
Oh, do you remember there was it was before he died. It was some interview, maybe it was Oprah, I don't know. It was some interview, they were going through like his house and they were watching him. They went shop. I think it was Oprah. They went shopping with him, and he was in this store with what maybe it was statues or furniture or something. And he was pointing at everything. Or walking along the line, he goes, "I want that. I want those. I want that. Give me that." And then like millions of dollars in a minute. You know what I mean?
These, about these, about this one,
About midnight.
this one, about this table. This chess set. Isn't it beautiful, this set?
Yeah.
And he didn't have money. He didn't,
Yeah.
like he had money, but he was like millions of dollars in debt too.
Yeah, he was pretty far up his ass in debt. That's for sure. I mean, the other thing was the allegations of rape, the child rape things. That would have been tough to deal with, especially because he was probably friends with a lot of those kids, right? He just wanted to be friends with them, right? And I mean, maybe nothing ever actually happened. I personally thought that he never did any of that. I think that a lot of these kids, at the end of the day, were probably forced by their parents to realistically open up a lawsuit, right? I mean, a lot of these kids probably didn't come from money or didn't have money like he did, and they knew that, and they took advantage of it. Yeah.
He's just taking them to show them a good time because he didn't have a great time when he was a kid, so he wants to help. Or you know,
or maybe he did it.
Screwed up.
We don't know, right? I mean,
if he's out there, maybe he can answer that for us.
Yeah, but I think he tried to, and it didn't work out too well.
Yeah.
And to the same point, a lot of those kids even did end up coming out and saying that none of this ever actually happened, right?
Did Macaulay Culkin say anything?
I don't really remember anymore.
Who's next?
Elvis Presley. The reason why?
Won't be back at all.